Okay, we are live, I think.
Well, that's quite a fanfare.
Soon enough. Soon
Well,
enough,
I have
the
you
audience will
muted.
get an earful of fanfare.
That could be a problem for Austrian Suite too.
Uh-oh.
So
Yeah, it's a good thing we did this.
yeah. No,
Hi,
no kidding.
everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
This is real time. This
Okay,
is
so-
real time art. Yes, take it
We're having
away.
a few technical things.
So hi everyone, welcome to our live stream, and you were supposed to hear a fanfare at the beginning to enter us into this live stream today, but that's okay. It's live, and here we are. So thank you so much
Hi,
for
everyone.
tuning into our 8th C4 Network live stream that we are calling Our Voices. This program features 3 pieces written by members of this group. All 4 pieces we're singing tonight are some kind of premiere. And these pieces probably could not be more different from each other. And we highly recommend you listen to this with headphones for a variety of reasons, which you will find out about later. For those of you who don't know what's going on here, maybe you think we pre-recorded this and then stuck it together later to release to you
Clearly
right now.
not.
No. Maybe you don't. Maybe we have figured that out with like the thing that happened at the beginning. But anyways, no, we are performing live in real time across 3 time zones using Zoom for video and the low latency software called Jamulus for audio. And then a bunch of fancy things that Brian does in order to add filters and broadcast to YouTube. If you want to know more about that, you'll have to ask him or Daniel. Also, I'm sure you've noticed that there is a live chat. Please feel free to tell us how amazing we are in there in lieu of applause. And if you have any questions about the pieces for the composers, about how we're doing all the amazing things that we're doing, please put those questions in the chat. We do have Fahad Siadat monitoring the chat for us tonight in order to answer in real time. But also, after the concert, we'll be answering questions in a live talkback that we'll be having with the composers of tonight's pieces, along with the rest of us who sang them. So please stick around for that at the end. And now, to talk about our first amazing piece by our very own David C., is the semiconductor of this piece, Melissa Wozniak.
Good evening, everybody. I have the honor of leading our ensemble in Austrian Suite, a mini musical of 6 movements in 5 minutes. Some things that you may want to know is that we are singing along to an accompaniment track. So we are hearing it in our headphones, but you are also hearing it through the feed. And the lyrics go by quick, so tune your ears to those words. This piece is about the travels of David C., the composer, and his wife Lynn to Austria, and being in a place where you kind of speak the language, and the comedy that ensues during those misunderstandings. So I hope you enjoy, and if I get a thumbs up from David, I know we're good to go.
And roughly translated back into English.
Excusing me, pleases. Excusing me, pleases. I want knowing, yeah, I need knowing, know whether might you have this thingy. If you feel sell, maybe this thingy, sell this thingy, just smallier.
Make it smally.
Please,
I need a smallier thingy.
I gotta have a smaller size. If it possibles. My effort had been too swift. I tossed the verbal seeds of salad. I looked in his eyes for a sign that he'd gotten my drift. Makeshift, though you could call it. Well, the pharmacist did not laugh. He did not offer correction.
Doesn't kind of
He didn't even answer me in English, which many Europeans will do.
What up, you? He emitted a long-winded answer. I did feel outwitted, but made out crucial words in his reply. Can buy
So I said thank you. Then on the way out, I sang to myself this little song. The snow didn't have what brought me in, so I'll have to keep on looking. And despite all the skills that I've learned, I know that my German's not quite cooking. But I have just made my intentions clear, and got an idea of words I hear. We both did have our wits in gear, so our calling up in and raise a
Okay, we're back.
Okay. Am I up? Okay. In Austrian suite, which you just heard, the composer's ego is perched front and center, bidding openly and ardently for attention. In our next piece, it's pretty much the opposite. In Anna Heflin's My Voice, the composer's ego is out on the back porch, chilling with its shoes off and feet up, enjoying a blissful nap. The title, My Voice, is from a beautiful poem by Oscar Wilde. Although this is not, I'll point out the Oscar Wilde of Mordantly Funny Bun Mose, the one who, if you remember, said, "We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars," or "True friends stab you in the front." No, this poem mourns a lost love in classical, eloquent, and heartbreaking terms. The music you will hear, though, does not so much set the text as it does select out some words, decontextualize, and spin an engaging sonic texture out of them. Our Zoom video feed will have filtering effects operated by our tireless and ingenious tech wizard, Brian Mountford. but you may still be able to make us out in the picture checking our wrists or necks, because for the first half of it, the first few minutes, the individual's pulse is what determines the individual's tempo. The conductor's part, which happens to be me, is to cue beginnings and endings. So now I must disappear for a moment behind the scenes and examine my checklist and push buttons before we begin. So Angela, will you kindly tide us over for a minute while I do that?
The composer, Anna Heflin, is a violist, a writer for music journals, and a senior account executive for 8VA Music Consultancy, as well as a composer. Her composition, The Redundancy of the Angelic, which is described as an interluding play, has recently been released on the Infrequent Seams label. You're welcome to click through the link on our YouTube page to our program notes with the text of Oscar Wilde's poem, to Anna's links, and to more about tonight's pieces and composers. For now, though, settle into the moment with us and listen to our performers listen to their heartbeats and each other.
Okay.
Hello, our next piece this evening is called Nemesis, and it was created by our very own Mario Golo, who graduated today with his second master's in composition from Brooklyn College Conservatory of Music.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nemesis is unique in that it can't be performed live. You'll hear some odd sounds during this piece. Be assured, it's likely not a problem with your speakers, it's us. The singers are required to utilize their technology to create different effects you will hear tonight. Like Angela said earlier, if it is available to you, we recommend that you wear headphones for this piece.
you so much for
Oh,
listening.
your jitter buffers are still lower, Adrian.
They are.
They are.
Or you're just having internet problems.
I'm having. Oh, whoopsie-doozers. Sorry. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Is that better? it was all the way down at 0. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for listening to our 8th live remote concert, Our Voices. This C4 network collaboration between C4, Inversion, and C3LA enables real-time music making across the continent. As life tentatively returns to pre-pandemic norms, all of the C4 network ensembles are planning live in-person rehearsals and concerts. Inversion in Austin just completed recording an in-person performance of its LGBTQ-focused concert Stigma, Songs of the Forgotten. Premieres its digital concert In Memoriam, A Modern Requiem tomorrow, and plans live concerts for next season. C3LA in Los Angeles, in collaboration with People Inside Electronics, presents Interspace, a unique live-streamed concert experience combining new choral compositions and electronic music that will mingle pre-recorded elements with live vocals and on-the-fly audio processing. Sounds like what we do. And even a bit of audience participation on Saturday, June 5 at 5 p.m. Pacific. C4 in New York hopes for an outdoor concert in September, a winter holiday-themed concert, and a completely back-to-normal concert in the spring. This group, C4 Goes Remote, will be featured at the online Neo Vocal Festival on July 13 with a video of our live performance last summer of Robbie LaBanca's last transmissions of Amelia Earhart. We hope to offer another live remote concert, possibly this summer, and will likely to continue to explore this format even as life returns to normal because, well, this is now normal for us. We're happy to offer this concert free to you, but it does cost us money. We didn't throw up a paywall or a data harvesting obstacle course for you to get here. Choirs everywhere have struggled to raise money during the pandemic, and we're no exception. Please make a donation to help cover our expenses. You'll find links in the YouTube chat. Our Venmo handle is at C4 Ensemble. PayPal is info@c4ensemble.org, and the website is c4ensemble.org. Please post questions in the chat and stay after the concert to hear a talkback with the composers. We'll close our program tonight with Karen Siegel's work, Isolation, commissioned by the Northern Illinois University Concert Choir under the direction of Eric Johnson. She sets her own pandemic quarantine poetry to music, originally crafted for a remote online performance, but premiered masked and live last month. We're thrilled to sing Karen's moving piece as she has helped choirs all over the country make music during the pandemic. Here's Isolation.
Good.
Trying each day, trying each day, trying each day, trying each day,
Tune it in or block it out. Focus while I hear them shout.
Snapping, insides breaking, snapping, insides insides breaking, snapping, insides breaking, snapping, insides breaking,
Read the news, forget to blink, fly away, too tired to think.
Waiting, guessing, waiting, 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 waiting, guessing,
Days are months, and months are years. Grief and loss and tears.
Still breathing, breathing, still breathing, still breathing, still
Laughing, still there's laughing. Laughing, still there's laughing. Laughing, still there's laughing.
Laughing, still there's laughing. Laughing, still there's laughing. Laughing, still
loving,
one shoulder, fading fear.
Loving back to loving, loving back to loving, loving back to loving, loving back to loving, to loving back to loving, back to loving,
Now you can do it.
What was that?
Your turn.
Okay. We want to thank you for joining us this evening. Sorry, I can't hear everyone. We'd like to invite you all to stay on with us for a talk back with the composers. I actually don't know if we have all four. Do we have Anna Heflin tonight? Well, I don't know, but
Not yet.
I think Karen's
I hope
coming
we
on.
do. We have at least three: David C., Anna Heflin, maybe, Mario Gulo, and Karen Siegel. So stick around and we will chat with you and them. Thanks.
Hey, there's Anna on Zoom.
Oh yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Here we are, back for the talk back.
Hi there.
Do we have?
Hi Anna.
Hello.
You're a
person?
Karen.
Yeah, I'm here in Jamulus, but I'm not
Okay.
yet.
Am I stepping on anyone's toes if I do the introduction?
Go for it.
Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. I'll stand closer to the mic. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for this concert. Let us know in the chat if we did anything terrible. We're not aware of any screw-ups yet, but I'm sure we missed something. But most importantly, put your questions in the chat for the conductors or the composers. You can ask the conductors too. You can ask anything of anyone, but extra specially the composers. If you want to wave, we have Mario, composer of Nemesis. We have Karen. Are you on Zoom?
I'm here. You will see
Okay.
me soon.
Okay, all right. And we, let's see, Anna, is Anna on Zoom yet?
Anna's on Zoom.
Yeah.
but
She's
she's
just
not in
getting on
Zoom.
Jen.
Oh, there's Anna. Okay, so she can wave, but she'll get there for, and then we have David C., who is presumably on both, and we should make sure to unmute him. Hey, David, can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
great.
All right.
All right, so then while everyone's getting set up, why don't we start with Mario? So someone told me your piece was crazy. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I don't know what you're talking about. No, so in all honesty, we were just in rehearsal one day, and Daniel, where's Daniel? He's here somewhere. He knows he's responsible. Just said this thing where he's like, let's, when are we going to do this? And he just moved his fader, so he all of a sudden switched from one side to the other. And I was like, okay, let's do that. And as I was thinking about it, I thought, well, we've been spending this whole year trying to make everything sound like we're live and you're in the hall with us, and we're trying to sound as pristine as possible. But what happens if we try to exploit all of the gadgets that we now have at our disposal? So I just started playing with it, and then the name Nemesis came. Again, a joke with Daniel, because I just jokingly in rehearsal said one day, I'm aggrieved to admit that I agree with my nemesis, Daniel. And just everyone, I don't know why I said it. I just said it to be funny. And so Nemesis stuck. But then as I was thinking again about being stuck in our houses during COVID and being limited almost to this technology and Jamulus and Zoom and everything like that. So it all just kind of came together as a title, and then I just kind of looked at Jamulus, I saw what all the buttons did, and I threw everything against the wall and hope it stuck. That's kind of what happened. And I tried not to make the music, the notes too difficult, except I know the sopranos all hate me. But other than that, sopranos hate me in everything I write, but I don't think there's anything I can do about that. But that's it. If you have any specific questions about what you were hearing, I'm happy to explain what we did. If you want me to go into a little more technical explanation of what it is.
We have an interesting performance
Speaking
piece going on right now.
It's the no-name channel on the far left side of Jamulus.
Is that me?
Yeah, if somebody has YouTube on, we're hearing it played back.
It's not me.
Yeah. No,
Oh, I thought I heard myself talking back.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's you from a few
Karen?
seconds ago. So we need to mute any
Okay, so-
YouTube that's
Yeah,
on.
Past you.
And also somebody is typing, so if you can mute
Furious.
yourself while you're typing. But we'll figure that out. But we'll come back to you, Mario.
Okay.
Why don't we? Let's see. Karen, are you set up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. That was Anna.
So isolation. Can you tell us?
Oh,
Now we got some feedback.
We're back to Nemesis.
And that's Anna's channel again.
Okay.
And Anna, why don't you just mute yourself?
Hi, is it better now? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
No, we're still hearing ourselves.
But it's alright. I will just mute you temporarily. You're one of the no-names?
Yeah, the leftmost in mine.
Okay. Very good. All right. I
It
think
took us
that
all a
should-
long time to figure
Is it
this
for
out.
people?
So
Still
So,
there.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
Karen, why don't you tell us a little about isolation?
sure, we still have the echo though.
Yeah, you have to mute. You have to mute
The
the
no-name
The
channel.
no-name.
Anna
far left.
Heflin no name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you.
Oh,
were
we all have to do that.
got it.
Yeah, we're all gonna have to.
For the
do it.
moment.
Okay.
Ah.
So about isolation. So this is the version that is. I'm sorry. I'm still hearing myself, so I have to figure out what I'm.
It's the
I have to
no-name
mute
channel.
myself
the last
too.
Well,
channel.
it could be. Yeah, you
Sorry.
mute
Yourself
yeah.
too. Yes, true.
Yeah. I muted. I was actually logged into Jamulus before the concert came on because I had trouble with one of the rehearsals and I wanted to make sure. So I muted everyone and then I unmuted myself. It's all a little complicated.
Could you speak louder, Karen?
Sorry, I can. So about isolation, I wrote this piece for the Northern Illinois University Concert Choir with director Eric Johnson, and they had to pivot, or they were able to pivot in the middle of their rehearsals. They were really pleased to be able to rehearse and perform in their concert hall with all the restrictions. But they were able to give it a really nice performance. But because I was doing a workshop with them as the piece was being developed, I was able to pivot with them. So there are now two versions of the piece. There's an in-person version and this live remote version. So I kind of stopped the live remote version halfway and switched, and then after the premiere went back and completed the original live remote conception, which is what you all did an amazing job of tonight. And the main difference is that the quartet is only in the live remote version. It was a semi-chorus in the premiere. I think in the published version it will be a double choir piece.
Oh, cool.
And Also, the live remote version has soloists, and there are no soloists in the in-person version. There are the entire section sings that line together, and there are actually two sections sing the melody in homophony. So it's fun to play around with all the different options.
Yeah, the textures in this version are really fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed singing it.
Thanks.
And I got a solo. It was great.
And you did great on that solo.
I
We all did it.
almost forgot to come in.
Almost
I thought,
everybody
I
did.
wonder who sings the. Someone's not coming in on this. Oh, wait a minute. And then I started singing.
I love the
I suspect
black
we
and
weren't the
white.
only ones.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
So, Anna, let's see. Oh, first I have to unmute you. Unmute you there. And
I think her channel is clipping.
yeah.
Great.
We
You have
can-
your speakers on?
Do you have headphones?
I do. I was just, frantically trying to figure out the sound situation, and so let me
I think
try
putting
them.
headphones on will help.
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
Can I
so
hear
much
you?
better.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Now there's no echo, and it's amazing.
Okay, but I can't hear you. For
Oh.
I,
Oh, because
sounds-
the audio.
sorry, I want to make sure I can hear your questions. If this is not stage.
All right. Well, then we'll just be quiet so that the echo won't have any effect, and you can talk to us a little bit about your wonderful piece and the history of it all and how it got to this version.
Yeah, thank you all so very much for performing it so beautifully, and just so in awe of how it's done virtually. It's so impressive, and thank you so much. I wrote it in 2019 for the Ostrava Canticum Choir in the Czech Republic, and that piece was slightly longer, and I met David C. at the SEM concert where he heard my course back in either 2018 or 2019. He was like, if you ever write a choir piece, let me know. And I did, and I was very happy to pass along. The version that you heard tonight was slightly abridged, and I kind of had the virtual medium mind a little bit for timings.
Excellent.
And how did you decide which words in the poem to pull out? It was interesting to see which ones were there and all of that. Was it based on the sound or the... I don't know. How'd you do it?
The meaning or what?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of alliteration in the poem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that naturally drew me to it. And so that you start off and you have all these like S sounds, and that kind of opens out into more vowels. There's lots of L's, and I was more conscious about like matching words to pitches than I was like going through a method of finding the words. That was kind of a natural playing with it and finding the right feel, but assigning them to actual pitches and then moving through the sections was more formulaic, if you will. But they pointed out that I added the word lick, which was, I was like, yeah, well, I guess I did that. I didn't notice, so pointed that out. Yeah, well, we add a few, don't we? We're like that. Didn't he write that? No.
He should have.
So it's my version, I guess.
Was it intentional?
Yeah. No. I think I was just thinking there were all those L words, and it's like a very sensual poem, and that just kind of ended up in there, I guess.
Well, there we are.
Yeah.
You licked it here first. Okay, great. Let's see. I guess I will mute you for the moment. Wait, but we will come back to you if we have any more questions from the chat, and you can like raise your hand in the chat or something if you have something more to say. So finally, who are we?
David.
David.
Pick me.
You are last, but certainly not least. Can you tell us a little bit about this seminal moment in your life and how it came to be this piece?
Well, it's substantially a true story with a few exaggerations and comic turns that didn't really quite happen the way that I told it, but it really did happen, and it's the only piece that I've written that I can say, well, that really happened to me. a little piece of autobiography. I never had a chance to write a piece about it, so this is my first.
And did you set out from the beginning to say, I'm going to write a mini opera and of this length?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. Well, you succeeded.
And done.
That's great.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, go on.
Angela and Perry are going on tour next week, right?
Oh, are we?
Yeah,
I'm down.
it's been optioned for an off-Broadway production
Oh, yeah, for sure.
for next year.
There's a request in the chat to repeat.
Off Broadway.
Really?
This is it.
Not really.
Offline Broadway or online?
Offline Broadway.
If anyone has out there in YouTube audience land has questions for the composers or anyone else, let us know, and we can ask them. Let me go back to Mario.
Can I ask a quick?
Yes, sure.
So Anna, I would love to hear a little about your use of the heartbeat. So I knew about it from reading the program note, but I couldn't necessarily tell which parts it was used in, and can you explain a little how that works?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, that was a thing. Wrote this piece, that was kind of an experiment. So the choir wrote this is very experimental, and when I wrote it, I was like, I think this will work. We're gonna find out, and I thought that it did. So at the beginning, it's all beat, and it's like to the pulse, yeah. And then there are moments where it's actually meter, and then you have when sopranos come in and they do that thing, and then at the end they go straight to the pulse. So that's how I think you might have the impression that it's blurred, because for 2/3 of these or something like that, it really sits in this world of heartbeat, and then it'll alter between them, because I feel like you get your ear into this space, and then you don't add a little something else. It can be disengaging or something. You need something to spice it up, or something like this. Then you alternate. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm gonna mute her again. All right.
Tim requested sorry, I have to mute.
Yeah, Tim thought that the backing track was too loud, I guess, in Austrian Suite. I'm sorry, we had listened to it before and thought it wasn't loud enough.
Yeah.
Maybe we overcompensated. We'll have to listen to it.
Uh-oh.
But I can, when I make the video, I can adjust it, and it will all sound perfect, and you'll be able to listen to it to your heart's content.
Okay.
Sorry if I overbalanced. Mario, so you were going to talk a little bit about the technical stuff of, let's see, so the jitter buffers, I guess maybe that might be what people are hearing, or was most notable to people, was both the Banshee stuff that Maureen was doing and our crackling at the very end. So maybe you could give the audience a peek behind the curtain on that.
Well, who is it can explain what a jitter buffer actually is better than I can? So
Daniel.
Is that you, Brian, or Daniel?
Daniel.
One of the two of you.
Daniel,
I did it last time. Why don't you do it, Brian? This time?
Okay.
It made things crackly.
Yes, a jitter buffer, it's a buffer designed to delay the signal a little bit, so that in case there's a problem, a delay in things getting to you, you have a chance to reassemble the sound in the right order before it goes out. So at the expense of delaying the sound, it gives you a better quality signal. Sometimes you want less delay, and so you're willing to accept a little crud in your signal in order to get that delay. Normally, as a chorus, we want to have the nice smooth sound, so we're willing to accept a little more delay. But if you're an enterprising composer, you can deliberately turn the jitter buffers all the way down to the bottom so that they're as small as possible, which has the advantage of giving you low delay, but that's not what he was going for here. The important thing is it makes your signal sound terrible. So what he had us do in the last part was start with the jitter buffers at their maximum value, where we all sounded angelic, no doubt, and then slowly lower it until it was at the bottom, where we sounded a different kind of angelic, the angel of death, perhaps.
So the whole idea, I'll jump in on that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Brian. The whole idea was that you also heard the click track, and we were probably behind the click track because of all of that. And as we lowered the jitter buffers, we should have lined up more and more with the with the click track as our buffers were getting lower. So the whole idea was that we're off, and then we're on, and then when you get past that point and you get to the very lowest point, all of a sudden the sound starts to distort. So it goes from sounding wrong to coming together and sounding on the right, and then kind of falling apart again. And all we did was sing, and again, going back to the whole idea of we're in the middle of the pandemic, we're doing the same thing all the time. And so someone said, I think it was Josh, who said, I've never seen in a score repeat 22 times.
And I never want to again.
Yeah, and he never wants to again, yes.
I was shocked to take a look at the score.
So I thought,
It's so short.
because we're doing all these adjusting and all these crazy things, I tried to keep the music as simple-ish as possible.
I did appreciate the fact in the last page, I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm glad I could stop looking at the music and just focus on twiddling the knobs.
You just repeat the same thing over and over and over again, and let the jamulus do its work for the effect that we're looking for.
Cool.
Olivia did an awesome job semiconducting that.
Yes, she was
Yay,
amazing.
Olivia.
Yes,
I was like,
Olivia.
wow.
Great. So we have a couple
And there was
questions. Sorry, go on.
added challenge of singing while adjusting things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was quite the mind.
Yeah. That's why they pay us the big money.
And then I just use, in the first section, it was mostly the use of the panning function, where and we kind of start off on these little clustery areas, and then if it was correct, I don't know, I'm trying to give it away, I don't know if it sounded this way, but the left ear should have been on a major chord and your right ear should have been on a different major chord. And then it comes back together to a clusterish kind of thing, and then it kind of splits off to that again. So that was kind of the effect I was going for there too, while people were mumbling and people were screaming, and just because it's fun to do that, and that's all.
Cool. I love between those pitches, we actually managed to hit a major chord somewhere. Yeah.
There were a couple major chords in there, so I was very happy with that.
All right, so we have a couple of questions in the chat. Let's see. One, how do you practice together for the live concert? Are there multiple dry runs? Yeah, we do. We do sort of weekly rehearsals like a normal chorus, except we're all on Jamulus and Zoom. Kind of this. We're not normally streaming it, except when we want to test to see how it is. But we're kind of doing the same thing that we're doing tonight in our rehearsals. And then the other question, if someone wants to answer, how do you decide which works to perform per concert? Is there a rumble?
If by rumble you mean collective, then yes. They're
much the
kind of
same thing.
synonymous at this point.
I kind of like rumble, to be honest, just as a word.
Generally speaking, the C that stands for collective refers to the fact that we all get to pick. We are all lucky enough to have a voice to put in what we're looking for, what appeals to us as an individual, bring it to the group and see what everyone thinks, and also recognize what the limits are to our technology, what we can take from live performance and transfer to the remote, or things that are written specifically for an electronic presentation. So there's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of time and a lot of research, and everyone does it.
Don't forget the emails.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I try not to talk about it.
If anyone has a suggestion for live stream appropriate pieces that we should be doing, by all means, let us know.
Yeah. As our audience, you are part of the collective as well. You
like it or not.
Join us. Yeah.
Yes.
You will
Tell
be
us
assimilated.
things.
Yes. So another question was, is the balancing of voices done dynamically while singing? Because I can answer that. That's a tricky part. It's hard because we don't really have a dedicated engineer to do the balancing. We kind of, each individual has to monitor their own volume. That's exactly what you would do in a normal concert. You would When you're supposed to sing piano, you'd sing piano. When you're supposed to sing forte, you'd sing forte. But it's a lot harder to do it here because you might feel like you're singing piano, but if you're way up close to the microphone, it sounds different. So we have to look at our little level meters to make sure that we're loud enough. In fact, I'm probably not loud enough while speaking, so I'm going to get closer up here to answer that. But yeah, it's tough. Let's see.
It also alters our warm-up because we spend a lot of time in our warm-up, something we never do in an in-person situation, trying to get from piano to mezzo piano to forte to fortissimo, looking at our input meters, and there's a certain number of lights that should be on if it's fortissimo. So that's a weird thing that we're not used to in a live situation.
I'd like to add that it's really interesting for me I haven't sung in a number of these concerts, but I was singing in the first bunch of them, and then I came in to listen to the rehearsal and to see how you've adjusted and improved, like that warm-up, focusing so much on being able to monitor well your levels. I mean, you've gotten so good at that. There's been such growth in the skills of everyone who's continued after I stopped singing with you.
It is
remarkable. Yay, thanks, Karen.
Yeah, now
We'll see if those skills are of any use in the future.
Now
then.
that we've talked about it.
They will be.
I was gonna ask Anna. Let me prepare to unmute you. But so Anna, are you, now that you've done this choral piece, are you gonna embark on a new choral career?
I'd love to write more choral things. I had so much fun with it, and it was also such a gift to be able to revisit it and make edits. That's such a huge thing for a composer, not to just have a world premiere, but to revisit something and be like, okay, let me rework this. That's part of the process. The process of writing should be over a few years, ideally. So I'd love to write more choral music.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
All right. We like the idea of workshopping. And
actually, we like the idea of workshopping, but here was a real opportunity to do that because we were facing not just new pieces but new challenges with the technology. So it really happened this time.
Cool. I guess it might be about time to call it a day for the live stream. So thanks everyone for tuning in.
And for donating.
Oh yes.
Yes, if you're
thanks
still watching.
for donating. We're trying to figure out what to do with all that money, but we promise we'll put it to good use.
If you're still watching, be sure to donate. Every time someone donates via Venmo, my watch thingy vibrates, so go ahead and keep me up all night with all the notifications.
Nice. The treasure invites
That's
your
me.
donations.
Clink, clink.
Buzz,
Great.
buzz.
And with that, we will sign off and hope to see you in the future, either live or live stream or who knows what. Oh yeah, did the fanfare work eventually?
No, it never did.
Okay, all right, too bad. I was hoping maybe
He's
we could
playing us
sign
out,
off
though.
with the
We
fanfare.
do it at the end?
I don't know why.
All right. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.